Hey girl, it's time to start believing that you deserve the best. Hi, I'm Liquey. Welcome to the chaos. First of all, I just want to thank you guys so much for all the love and engagement that I received on one of my last videos. I am so happy to be hearing from all of you. I love all of you guys so much. You're all baddies. You all deserve the best. You're all power, pure creation, unconditional love. And I'm going to tell you why you deserve the absolute best. So stop manifesting a text from a loser. Do you like my ashtray? Okay, so first things first, let's focus on your self-concept. You want princess treatment, right? So you need to believe that you are a princess, and you need to think like one and act like one and feel like one. Now, if you're like, Liquey, that's hard because all of my exes and every guy I've ever talked to, like, treated me like shit and they never did anything for me, and you know, I'm just so unlovable and I just want someone to love me so bad and I want them to say that I'm beautiful. They've never said that to me. Okay, that's the problem right there. We're gonna rewrite your story now, okay? None of that's real, none of that's true. You've always been given princess treatment. Every guy you've ever dated and talked to loved you so much. They told you you're beautiful every single day, texted you every single day, took you on frequent dates, courted you, respected you, always talked to you with such kind and loving words. Okay, so when you want to manifest, you have to change the core belief. And if your core belief is, I'm not chosen, then that's how it's going to be in your love life. That's how it's going to be in friendships, professional life, family. That's what's going to be the reality, right? Because whatever you believe is what becomes real to you. Okay, so now let's get just a little bit deeper. We're rewriting our love story. Not only have I always been loved and adored in relationships with dating, just any guy that wants to talk to me, I've also been loved and accepted by my peers. In friendships, in friend groups, at school. I've always been loved. I've always been well liked, always been taken care of by my group. I've always felt secure. I've always felt protected. In my workplace, I've always been chosen for any job I've interviewed to. They've always taken my ideas and they've all been well received. I've always been treated with kindness and respect in my workplace. I've always felt loved and appreciated by my managers, by my supervisors. I've always been well liked by my coworkers. They always loved me. I've always been the favorite in all of my classes. My teacher always favored me. The students always favored me. I've always been the most loved, the most liked. Everyone wanted to be my friend. Every guy that's ever talked to me and ever dated me literally worshipped and adored me. They were so excited to talk to me, so excited to plan dates for me. Okay, now let's hit the family. The reason why we're doing all of these revisionings, these rewritings, is because the way that we believe is heavily influenced on our past and what we, and the conclusion that we made based off of our experiences. And so we tie certain things, right? Certain statements, certain beliefs, words. We tie words to our experiences in dating, in love, in childhood. What I have felt, even just saying that, like I always feel protected around my peers, you know, you could have struggled with being bullied as a child, and that, you know, starts to make you believe that you're not safe around people, around peers, and that can translate into your dating life, your love life. And so rewriting that story is that I'm loved amongst my peers. I'm protected amongst my peers. That forms a new belief. and will then be translated into all areas of your life. So in love, I feel safe and protected in dating. At work, I feel safe and protected. You know, the way that life manifests, it leaks through every area and starts with a core belief. Okay, so to the family, for real. A lot of our trauma, right, is rooted through our family, and a lot of our most beautiful parts of us is rooted through memories with family. If your self-concept is low, if your relation to love is very low, it's because it started in childhood, right? You didn't feel loved as a child, or you didn't feel secure as a child, you didn't feel heard as a child, you didn't feel chosen as a child, you didn't feel accepted as a child, you didn't feel protected. This is going to be hitting some inner child work. This is how we're gonna rewrite our love story. I've always been loved and accepted by my mom and dad. My mom and dad were my protectors, and they are my protectors, and they will always be my protectors. My mom and dad are always there for me. My mom and dad always have provided for me and always are there to provide for me. My mom and dad showered me with so many encouraging words. They watered me and allowed me to blossom into this beautiful, shining flower that I am. My mom and dad are stable in my life. They show me a beautiful example of what true love really is in marriage, as partners, as best friends, as parents. I love the love that my parents gave me. My parents love me so deeply, and they care about me, and they care about my interests, and they're so proud of me. And every year they get more and more proud of who I am becoming and who I become. My parents give me the space to allow me to discover who I am, and they support me every step of the way. And they love me every step of the way. And they're there to help guide me and give me advice while still allowing me to freely find who I am. My parents fully accept me. My family fully accepts and loves me. They embrace me. They're so excited to see me. I am their favorite. I am literally the favorite child, the favorite sibling, the favorite cousin, the favorite niece. I am so loved and adored by my family. I am always getting princess treatment by my family. I am spoiled. I am the baby. I've never had to struggle. Everything has always been easy for me. Everything has always been done for me. My parents have always had a lot of money, so I lived a very easy and blessed life. I've always gotten anything I've ever wanted. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that this is my life. I'm so grateful that that was my life. I'm so grateful for my childhood. I had the most beautiful childhood. I had the most exciting childhood, the funnest childhood. I had such an easy and peaceful childhood. I've always been loved. I've always been adored. You guys, I deadass just healed hella trauma right now. I need a little smoke break. Baddies get trauma too, so the more we clear this, the faster we manifest. Now, I had a very unique childhood. So I'm from the Bay Area. My whole family is from California. And when I was 4 months old, my parents were sent to Hawaii to become pastors. The ministry I grew up in is an inner city ministry. So they outreach out to drug addicts, gang members, people who really struggle with addictions, who are even homeless right now. That was the environment that I grew up around, and those were the stories that I knew from people who went into, you know, the church and got saved, gave their life to God, and their life turned around. And that's actually how my parents got into the ministry. They were 18. They had a hard life. They were teenage runaways, My dad was involved in gangs, they were doing drugs, they were teenage parents. And for the first 5 years of my life, we were here in Hawaii and building a church. And well, I say we like it was me, but I was, I was a baby. I was growing up in this. My parents ran a men's recovery home and a women's recovery home, and we all lived together. And that was just what, I believed a normal life was. That's just, all I knew. That's what we're called to do with our life, And my dad would literally go out with the team at night, find people who were on drugs and struggling and just, the things that we would say is like, down and out, who just want to turn their lives around. Go into the recovery home, give your life to God, and, your whole life will change. And, it did. A lot of people's lives changed. Like, my parents became pastors. But when I was 5, they resigned and we moved back to California. But my sister stayed here in Hawaii. We're 14 years apart. So she got married, had kids, and she's still, very involved in the ministry in the church. And shortly after that, my parents stopped going to church. And within like a year, 2 years, my dad actually ends up getting on drugs. He got addicted to meth. And from that point on to current time, he struggled with getting sober and then getting back on it. And my dad lives two very extreme, there's two very extreme sides of him. He is truly the best dad ever. He is like your best friend. He's so cool. Everyone loves my dad. Everyone loves being around him. He has the funnest personality, and he's very charming, and he always knows what to say. He always knows what to do. He gives the best advice. And he's such a loving father and loving husband. And then that's his sober side, right? And then when he's addicted, when he's using again, he completely changes. And he can't just use here and there. Like, he literally will decide to be homeless, like live in camps and just do drugs and whatever conniving shit he been doing. And this has been the cycle for 20 years with my dad. Growing up, I had these two very extreme worlds, and the church and ministry stuff was an intensity of itself, and I can choose to focus on the trauma, to look back at my childhood and see my dad as that man, the one that's addicted, or I can choose to see my childhood and see my dad as the one who loved and protected me. I have so many beautiful memories with my dad. One of my favorite memories that I have with him, it's so like just such a small little thing, but I was like 16 pushing 17, and I had like scratched my hand and I was like crying because I was bleeding. And my dad took my hand and washed it for me and like bandaged it and like took care of it. I was literally going to get married when I was 21, and it didn't happen, right? It turned out to be one of my biggest heartbreaks. It is my favorite heartbreak. I am so grateful. I'm so grateful for that shift, that relationship didn't work out. And during that time, I was so incredibly broken. And I was the only one living in California at that time. My whole family lived in Hawaii. And we moved back and forth constantly, but I was the only one in California. And every day he talked on the phone with me, and I would go on walks for my lunch break at work. And during that whole walk, like my whole lunch break walk, he would just talk to me and help me get through the heartbreak. And he did that every day for 2 weeks. And I'm so grateful that he did that for me, that he helped me, that he was there for me during my first real heartbreak. I remember like for a lot of the calls, all I would be doing is crying. But he would be whatever I needed. If I needed to laugh, he would make me laugh. If I needed to just cry and be consoled, he would do that. If I just needed to be babied, just needed to be heard, he would do that for me. And I'm so, so grateful that I had my dad. My dad is always there when I need him. And if I needed him right now, if I called him, that he would drop everything to help me. He immediately answer the phone. Doesn't matter. He'd immediately come to my aid. When I choose to believe that versus the dad that wasn't there for me, the dad that chose to be on drugs and be homeless and, you know, hurt my mom and hurt me, if I choose to focus on the one where he is there for me, what I'm doing is changing my belief, and it is healing my heart. I know what hurt feels like and heartbreak feels like, and I can really experience it deep in my heart. And that feeling of hurt, of deep, is, you know, triggered by this thought, this belief that I have. And because I hold that belief, it affects every single part of my life. And when I change that to something that's going to actually benefit me, because me believing that no one is there for me, how does that benefit me? Me choosing to believe my mom and my dad as a certain way, so that I continue thinking, oh yeah, see, that's why I'm damaged, that's why, like, you know, nothing's working out for me, that's why things are fucking hard, like I had a rough chance from the start. How does that benefit me? If I want to heal my inner child, I literally need to give her a chance. I need to make sure that she knows that she's loved, that she knows that she's chosen, that she knows that she's protected. When she knows it, I know it. What you believe is what you manifest. So if you change your core beliefs to something that's gonna benefit you, to something that's gonna protect you, to something that's gonna love you, how do you think that's gonna change your life? How much more would you benefit if you just believed that your parents always protected you? Just that simple thing. Because if you grew up believing that they didn't protect you, you're going to just believe that you're unprotected, that you're vulnerable, that you're always getting hurt. But if you change that to no, when I was growing up and even now, I've always been protected. My family always protected me. My friends always protected me. My boyfriend's always protected me. My feelings were always protected. My heart was always protected. No one ever hurt me. No one ever wanted to. There was never that intention. The intention was always to protect me. How would that change your life? How would that change your love life? I've always been safe, and I've always felt safe, and I only resonate with feeling safe. And I only attract partners that make me feel safe. And I've always had partners that made me feel safe. I've always felt safe in friendships. I've always felt safe at work. Not only are you going to manifest from your new beliefs, you're going to start making decisions based off of your new beliefs. I've always been adored and loved. I'm not going to be talking to a guy that doesn't love and adore me. I am not going to be associating myself with anything that isn't that. If I don't feel that, if I don't see that, I'm moving on. Easy. So I could be with someone that loves and adores me. If I'm at a job that treats me like shit, I'm moving on and I'm getting a better job, because I've only had jobs that treated me right, that valued me, that were excited to work with me, that loved my presence. I'm not gonna waste my time at a job that treats me like shit. I'm gonna easily find a new job with better pay and better benefits. You start building higher standards, and you surround yourself with only the best. Wow, okay, I feel like it was getting really deep and now it's time to just lighten things up. I want to give you a quick reminder that you are the universe. You are pure, unconditional love. You are unlimited power, unlimited creation. You have always been loved and adored. You don't need to earn it. You don't need to be worthy or deserving of it because you are already unconditional love. It is already yours. At any moment you have access to it, and you've always had access to it. But I do have to go now because I am so hungry. Haven't eaten all day. It's 3:48. And I also did not expect to tackle father wounds in this session. But let me know when it's time for the mother wounds. I do want to leave you with this before I leave. You are the best. You've always had the best, and you'll always have the best. Okay, gotta go. Love you. Bye.